Welcome to the Fifth Trooper podcast.
Hello and welcome back to yet again another Fifth Trooper episode. I've made it 4 episodes.
Maybe so. 4
So
or 5.
current-
I can't count that high.
Current record in a long time. Just a heads up for those listening now. I may or may not have something out for next week due to Adepticon. I think it would be fun to do like a live show episode where I just kind of like kick on the Fifth Trooper Twitch and just drop the mic at a table, and then whoever wants to come over and say whatever is just let's go. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? I'll probably have to record it and maybe go back depending on the crowd. You know how it is. People are great. Anyway, thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. With me today, I have I don't get to yell deploy the garrison. I get to say you Inglorious blasters. That doesn't really work. We'll go with it later.
We'll edit and post.
Yeah, we'll edit and we'll shoot it and post. Well, like there's not, I guess, a movie quote somewhere. I don't know. I'm blowing it. Nick, are you with me? Grammar police?
Not part of the Inglorious Blasters, but
No.
back on the Fifth Trooper.
No, but we are willing to poach members. So
That's true.
We'll talk after.
How many B1s will it take? Corey.
hey, how's it going, everyone? Pleasure to be back on the Fifth Trooper with my boy Evan
Hey, yo, Street Fighter 6.
and Nick, obviously.
Looking good.
No.
Brendan.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here for the first time. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And John.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be on.
And so as like the thing we've been doing lately is like I want to get a lot of the casts who are around, because it's not like an X-Wing podcast back in the day. There used to be like one website that was upheld that had every X-Wing podcast on it. It was just like a culmination of like different groups you can go to. Just click on the webpage. Oh, a new podcast has started, a bunch of guys, so I can listen to that. There's not really that for Legion besides the Discord, I guess. But even then, it's kind of like there's not like a standing list. It's like new episode pops up in the content creator feed, and you may not even look there. So if you're listening to me, you should listen to them too. Inglorious Blasters. They do a great segment each week about contrasting and comparing a unit. I was on with Evil Evan, Dark Evan, if you will, Pomeranian Evan, and we got into a near fist fight about Captain Rex and all units.
And
that
I
was
got really
good.
emotional during that episode.
Yeah,
You
I'll
really
tell
dug into that losing battle, Evan.
Captain Rex should be Courage 3. He was in every episode. How is he not Courage 3? But anyway, I digress. Thanks for coming on, guys. I do appreciate it. I gave you like a 3-day heads up. Like Sunday, I shot you a message. I'm like, hey, you guys want to come on? And you got on, and like I didn't have to do anything crazy like Sunday morning at 1 o'clock. So I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem. We're just trying to get some content out right before Worlds. So yeah, the more content, the better.
That is coming up.
So
yeah,
group question: are you ready for Worlds?
No.
Not as
big
ready as
no.
I'd like to be.
I'm the same. Not as ready as I'd like to be. I
I've
have
switched-
stopped waffling though. So
I've
that's a plus.
stopped waffling as well. I've switched my list from a 40 chess big brain list to a just mindless W key press forward. So I'm like, all right.
I have
probably
a waffle
won't mess
house
this
full
up.
of waffles.
It's just nothing but waffles.
Nothing but waffles over here. I've tried 2 different lists so far this week. I'll probably try a third before the week's end, and probably end up bringing none of the 3 that I tried this week.
Dude.
So,
My man. All right.
All right. Evan's spilling his secrets here on the stream.
Oh yeah, I don't
Talk
care.
about those
Like,
here in a
dude, what do you-
second.
I always love when people are like, "Oh, I heard what's in your list." Oh, so I added this to tech against you. I'm like, all right, like, like,
And no one should be teching against rebels.
yeah, tech against rebels just bring a lot of dice, I guess.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the same. Just roll hits against them.
You might battle deck's not even a secret. Doesn't matter. Boop 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 boop.
You're playing
Okay.
800.
Yeah, I'm playing 800. Like it doesn't like my battle deck is in. I'm bringing one on like because I have to.
You're legally
but-
required to.
Yeah, I'm legally required to, but I don't plan on like every.
You should hit that 800 matchup.
So I'm doing originally I wanted to be super hipster and do Luke and Chewie and play Common Cause because no one plays that card, no one remembers any of Chewie's cards. So and if you're unfamiliar with what it is, I'm not doing it, changed my mind, but it's still a good card, I think. Common Cause, it's a rare 1-pip that hands out 2 orders, 1 to Chewie, 1 to Luke, and then after 1 activates, the other may activate as long as they have not already gone. To kind of like boil it down to what the card says. And I had this plan, and it was almost working where I would move out with Luke, or like not even move out, like force pull someone into Chewie's charge range, charge in with Luke, then Chewie comes up and gives him another whop for like tenacity with 5 damage, and it's like 6 black dice, 5 red dice, lethal on the 5 red, Luke's lightsaber. I'm like, I could probably kill whatever I wanted to. And it's almost like a fire support, but like I can kind of control it a little bit more. But I said no because delaying tactics is just so good. It makes anything that hands out 1 order real sad.
For our podcast listeners here, let's talk about the list.
Oh yeah,
I do want to, before we get too far into it, I want to make a quick note. The Scoundrels episode that just dropped, probably a few days ago after you hear this at this point, but they talked about underrated units for each faction. Commander Luke, underrated.
I think he's underrated
having played
as well.
against him now a lot, he is.
And
I mean, honestly, he doesn't do like anything too crazy. He's solid for a relatively cheap points cost.
I mean, when the game first came out, he was like really good. So
oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's still really good. It's just you don't have like Master of the Force and other stuff like that, other fun toys, but underrated for sure.
And that hurts. He used to be like considered the best point for pound unit in the game for a very long time, and then like Hop Vader just went crazy. He's just like, okay, never mind.
Hop Vader got like 3 buffs in a row.
All right, Dad, you get it. You get to do it. My list for the audio listeners is Luke, Force Push, Force Barrier, Prepared Supplies, a Rebel Officer with Improvised Orders, Chewie with Protector, 3 Rebel Vets with their gun. You could say the name, but no one's gonna know what a CM-0/93 is. It's just the Rebel Vet gun. 2 medical droids, 2 Mark II blasters, and 2 1.4s with the overcharged generator. That brings me to exactly 800. And it's kind of just the idea of the list is like, I don't know how to beat Dark Troopers. I don't know how to beat 2. It's like, I'm not even saying like all like comp chat and everything aside, I just don't know what to do if they just roll paint. Because that's a reality. Sometimes you just have hot dice, sometimes you have cold dice. But when they just don't roll blanks, I have no idea. So my goal was, well, there used to be this X-Wing list called Fair Ship Rebel, and it wasn't fair. But it was when rebels get shot in X-Wing, you could do this like more or less you're playing a game of Sudoku with the damage. Like, all right, well, this guy Guardians 1 here, and this guy can flip this token to remove 2 damage here, and this guy can spread that damage over the other 3 ships. So every time you shot, you weren't actually ever hitting the ship you were shooting. It was like just bounced around some crazy math thing. And I'm kind of doing that here where it's like, well, Luke, Force Barrier, then all he's going to be probably doing for a lot of the games is just recover move or something. So he gets Force Barrier back. Chewie's just going to recover move. So he gets Guardian. So I can keep dumping on him. And the idea is if I can get my 3 vet squads to stay at like relatively full health until the like turn 5, I can probably out damage you with just a lot of like a lot of firepower because Rebel Vets kind of slap.
They hit really hard.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
So that's the game plan. 1.4s are there for the obligatory like impact in range 5. It's pretty good. Courage of the Rebellion is like real good. Luke gets a free recover, or if he doesn't care, the 1.4s can get their overcharge generator back. And then like hold at any cost is just nuts. Like actually
it's an insanely good card.
Actually absurd.
Super good.
Like everyone complains about Blizzard Force, and like, yeah, man, I get it. But like, what if I just got like free aims for everybody and free standbys, and my Mark II's get an aim and a standby because they're a core. It's just like kind of nutty. And what's crazy is it's like this isn't even considered like out of hand, but I feel like once there's always those sharks in the water. They're kind of like swimming, and everyone's like the shark that's breaching the water. Everyone's like, oh, Blizzard, Dark Troopers, oh my god. And then like under the water, there's just echo bass like, what if I brought 4 tauntauns? What if I brought 4 1? Yeah, like it's like equally probably as bad, but because the good stuff kind of like just won't let you play it, it's not quite breaching yet. But like this is a future a past Evan's gonna yell at future Evan that like echo base will be the next thing everyone complains about. Like after they figure out what they're gonna do with Blizzard. That's just a future prediction. That's my crystal ball.
I'll go on the record as I've played into this list a lot through different lists where I've been practicing in different variations of this, but the same premise, like defensive Luke and Chewie and a vet gun line, more or less. And I've played it with Staps, and I've played against it with AETs a few games with each. And man, is it hard to make a dent on those rebels. Like
Chewie good.
Yeah, Chewie's
Yeah, the defensive tech is real good here.
Is real strong.
Yeah, I don't as an Imperial player, Brendan, what are your thoughts?
I really like this list. It does have a lot of fun little tricks with the defensive tech. I actually kind of opposite of this earlier in the week against Corey and John.
Okay.
In terms of you have all this stuff to keep your guys alive. Meanwhile, I was all about killing my own guys. Because I tried to make a list where you could like really take advantage of Moff Gideon's ruthless keyword.
Oh, okay.
So I had 4 medbots in the list so they could do ridiculous things and not have to worry about the wounds to do the ridiculous things.
Man, it's like Gideon's like he's pretty like everyone's says he's kind of like whatever, but I think he's pretty like fair. Like Gideon, like everything that's really good about him, you really have to take a negative for, right?
Yeah, I mean, having only played him in a couple games now, he's pretty average, aside from some of his keywords. Because, I mean, Corey murdered him with like 1 swing from Ventress, so that was fun.
Yeah. Was that for like 8? Did she swing for like 8 with the dodges?
He had maybe like 1 or 2 wounds on him already, and then Ventress just came in and murdered him.
Did the cleanup. Yep.
Yeah, with the Makashi.
Right. So I'll are you rallied here with me on my stance of, for some reason, hating the Darksaber on every single person that can take it?
I personally like the Darksaber. I don't like it at 15 points. But that's just because I'm the person who keeps trying to champion demoralize, especially with fear. So,
Yeah, you know what's funny is I saw demoralize. It actually worked on me. So, Brendan, I will say your Mad Hatter fear is good play is fear is good. I'm still not on the train for, but I am on the train. Demoralize is good.
Demoralize is a good effect. It's just isn't worth a 4 slot.
It's a great effect, and I've tinkered around with the idea of both Gideon and Vader in a list just to get 2 demoralized ones in there, and that list just does not look good, but it looks fun.
I had a guy. It was the weekend after Dark Troopers release, so he brought double Dark Trooper Gideon, and they're all like blue tacked together, and I'm like, I hadn't quite faced them yet. I'd heard about them, right? But this is like the first weekend. Everyone's like, oh, TTS, like, ooh, Dark Troopers, spooky. And I'm like, I got Rebel Pierce. I'll be okay. And then I let him have, I wasn't thinking about it. I let him have rapid reinforcement, which was a mistake. So got 2 warps. Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? Because I kept in my mind thinking they were a heavy. So like, not like a tank or something. So he like moved them over and I'm like, oh my God. And then it ended. So I was like, fighting, and he had all of his core had snipers attached to him. So it's like range 5, like just plick in, and I'm like, dude, what
was it Remnant? It was Remnant with all snipers
too. Yeah, it was like
nice.
Yeah, he was a very nice guy, and I was very tilted. So I'm like, I was just like, how are these things in the game? You just be like, then he did the pick up and move, and like he just jumped and bodied all around the last VAP I needed to tap, so I couldn't get to it. And I'm like, yep. Just like the life drains from you when you're just like, or I was actually playing, so that felt bad. He was a good player. He was just playing like I all my complaining aside, very nice gentleman. And then while I was playing Nick real close with him a little while ago, and he's like, I guess I could just grab the hostage and then just like fly away, huh? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, that can't be. And we're looking at the card, just like all tokens, and technically the hostage is a token, not a
Yeah.
Yep.
so like, and thematically, that's really cool to be like, you
Yeah,
grab
that's
Baby
literally
Yoda
what
and,
they
like,
did on their screen
warp away.
appearance.
But
Right.
Man, that sucks in game.
But in a game, man,
Gameplay.
that's
Oof.
dude. Yeah, if someone grabs a hostage and just warps away, you're like, you win. Yeah, man. We can just pick up. You want to play the card game? The Star Wars card game. I brought that. Like it's it feels real bad, but John, what's your feel if you were a clone list going into this? What are you thinking about? What are you prioritizing?
If you were going into Worlds, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Everybody's going to be doing Anakin or Yoda list for sure.
It's good. Like it's just good.
Yeah. I mean, they, even with some of the nerfs to Padme, some of the buffs that they got to their gun lines, and I've been experimenting a lot with barrier on Anakin now that saber throw is not as good. Pre-Dark Troopers being released, now saber throw has gone up in value. But after the original cover changes, I kind of switched to barrier because you're going to wipe away on that, 2 of your 3 hits on a saber throw, and got really into playing that. But now I'm going to probably be switching back to saber throw with Dark Troopers, so you can get those fire supported saber throws in there. But I think you're going to see a lot of Anakin and Yoda, basically.
I was with you. I was on Team Barrier for like 2 weeks, and then it went
2
away.
hard weeks. It's well, like it's funny because it's like Obi. I want to play Obi-Wan, right? Like I just want to play Obi. That's all I want to do. And honestly, there's been some Anakin Obi lists that have been kind of surprising me lately about how like tough it is to kill. So there's something there, maybe not quite yet. But like
I will say,
Anakin's just so good.
For those of you wanting to do the like Annie Obi, so for those who are unfamiliar, if you seize the initiative on Anakin, and play Obi-Wan's 1-pip and take a standby, you can go with Anakin using seize, go first with Anakin, force push somebody, which will trigger Obi-Wan's standby. Then he can move up and charge and hit something with his lightsaber. And then Anakin can go and hit something with his lightsaber. And then next activation, Obi-Wan hits him again.
It's so good.
And that will pretty much like kill a Dark Trooper unit, which is insane. But there's still probably going to be another one, and that was your one.
But like, okay, man, like the day that I'm upset that someone took a list that's straight from the show is like the day that I need to like check myself before I wreck myself. Like I want to play a clone list with nothing but clone heroes. I want Rex, Cody, Fives, Echo, Boiler, Wax. Like I want the whole team, and just to play like a no Jedi army with like all the cool characters from the show. Like that's what I want to do. And we're almost there. You can like, I don't know if it's good, but you can build it and it like kind of fits. You're about like 8x, 9x. You're like not hemorrhaging, right? You're not building like to your deficit. Like you can still, there's some play. But man, like with Boyle and we'll talk about Cody here in a sec. Like all the cool units were almost there. Like we're so close. I'm actually very, very upset that Shatterpoint is getting clone commandos before us. Like my heart of hearts.
I am too, as
I am very upset about
like,
that.
Republic Commando fan. That hurts.
Super frustrating on that part.
Yeah.
But to that point, they like to announce releases when like show stuff comes out. So they just announced like Scorch is in like Bad Batch episode.
Bad Batch ship.
Yeah, that commando that looked like Scorch was credited.
It's actually Scorch. Yeah.
Scorch.
Spoiler alert! I don't know. Like he's in Bad Batch.
Really. He was in the first season.
Like yeah, I think. he's around. So that gives me hope that like that they'll just do that, like make a named group and just put out some commandos. I'm sure it's coming. I like the
Maybe
problem
they could do
is
something like the
Like an
Inferno,
Inferno
Squad.
Squads then. Yeah.
Yep. That'd be fun.
the problem is everything we want has been pushed back like 2 years, right? COVID kind of, besides everything else COVID did wrong, which this is a very small like care about the other things that happened.
No, give me
Ruined
my
all
toys.
my plastic toys.
My toys.
I need Sev back.
But we're like oh god, too soon. We're like at the point where we're getting back to monthly releases, and that's sick. I didn't really realize how much I missed that until like we didn't have it for like a year. Because it was like, what was it? I think 2020 or 21, there was like 2 releases for the year. It was like the Snail Tank, Yoda, Wookiees, and like Magna Guard, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then there were like kind of like 2 big drops. It was like 3 units one day and then 3 units another. And so we're actually back to like, I think it started in like what? December was Boba, and then January was Din or IG. I'm kind of getting this mixed up.
Yeah, I think you're going backwards. Boba was the most recent.
Was he? Okay,
Yeah.
then maybe it was the other way around.
Yeah, but Boba was January. Din and IG were both, I believe, December.
Okay. And then we've had Gideon Dark Troopers, and then Asajj, and then Cody is around the corner. And then, so the only thing that hasn't been released or a date for that they have announced is the Ewoks. So we can assume that's probably the next like content.
I assume that's June because on the stream recently, it seemed like they thought that Ahsoka's May. So
yeah. And they said
the cues.
There's a little bit of a theory here, I guess, but I think they said they were planning on like a long time ago, like they were planning on doing these Ewoks for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
so I don't know which month that is.
That would be May.
Okay,
that would be May.
Oh,
so
they can do May
maybe.
the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all the
Ewoks
original
be with me,
trilogy,
hooray.
yeah, because all the original trilogy movies came out and prequel trilogy movies came out in May because it's the same month as George Lucas's birthday.
Oh no shit! Really?
Yeah, and he wanted it that way.
Add that to your trivia deck, Evan.
Okay, you know what? I've got. You know what? Oh, damn it! That would have been really good. Okay, so, man, I'm actually really
forgotten
excited.
those every single time.
I know they're in the back of my car. I haven't got them out from the Du Bois. All right, so we'll do a game show at some point, and I think it'd be fun to do podcast against podcast.
Yes,
And so we'll do like
I love game shows.
a big tournament, and I've got these questions that are like miserable. They're like, how tall was Abuna Boo Boo, the pod racer? 4 choices: 1.6 meters, 1.7 meters, 1.8, or 1.9. And like
1.9, Evan.
yeah, dude, it's just like what the so I remember
Easy.
we were
Come
all,
on, you don't know this?
oh god, we were all kind of drunk.
He's my favorite character.
And dude, yeah, right. Oh, Boo Boo Boo. Yeah, what? I know everything about him. He's got 5 fingers.
I got posters of him on my wall.
He completely changed the scene he was in.
Right back there. I've told the story a lot, but it's still funny to me every time. It's like, so it was after Golden Sprue Day 1. I think it was like Nick Bodnar, Mike Berry, Zach, and a handful of other people were all around. I brought games to like entertain a crowd.
Other people.
Yeah, it's kind of the fun part of doing these events. Is the best part of X-Wing weekend is playing with all your pals afterward. So I got these, I said 650 trivia questions. Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Like, I'm like, you know, we're all nerds. Just, we should be able to. And I was like looking through them, and the first one was like, what color is Darth Vader's lightsaber? And you're like thinking, that's so obvious. It must be like a trap, right? Like red. And it's like, yeah, you got it. Like, oh, so they're either like throwaway easy, or like how many torpedoes does an ARC 170 carry? And you're like, it's like 2, 6, 12, or 24. And
I think the answer is 6.
yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Do you
my
know
man.
that, or are you just guessing because it sounds like a reasonable number?
I think I heard your podcast before. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did too. All right.
I think it's 6.
So it is 6, but
That one cinched me the crown.
Nice.
They're either like so obvious or so obscure that I have to like cultivate through them to get like, what did Yoda to tell Obi-Wan to be fearful of? And I'm like, oh, well, that's at least a movie quote. Like someone might get that. Like I remember just going through them, and then like everybody just give me these blank stares. And I'm like, Yeah, oh no, we were blowing it, Evan. Better think of something. So I got it. We should do a big. That's you know what? We'll do a post Adepticon. We'll try to find a day to do that, and we'll do like I'll see if we can get Legion 99 and play the Garrison and anybody else. We'll do like a big like. We'll find some way to do buzzers. We'll work it out. I think that'll be like really funny.
Maybe we stream it or something. I don't know. We'll
yeah.
figure it out.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's
Just grab endless. Just no, you're over here now.
Oh yeah, that's. I'm sure he'd
Don't
be
care
in
that
for
the finals are going on. Just come over here.
So we'll try to set up a date to do a big stream of just podcast trivia like question. That'd be good because it's especially after like Worlds when everyone's just like done with Legion for like a month or two, right? You're just like, I need a break. Like I've done nothing but sweat and paint echo based troopers. I'm good, but man, where was I even going? Oh, lists. Man, where was I? Sorry, I had to do we just did a live stream with Jay for the new Star Wars deck building game, which is actually very excellent if you haven't tried it. It's Star Realms, but Star Wars. So one person plays Empire, one person plays Rebels. You buy like it's very good.
It's very fun.
We also
it looks very fun. I have a copy, haven't played it yet.
Oh,
not
here we
for
go.
a
Plug
shameless
time.
plug. We sell it on our website now. So if you're at the Fifth Trooper website because you're just having a good day, you can shop Fifth Trooper. It's in here somewhere. It's on the website. You could shop for it. I like
that was
halfway
okay.
through the plug, and I'm like,
That's enough. FifthTrooper.com.
Okay, Corey.
You know, we were almost on the rails for like 30 whole seconds.
I know. It's just what I do. I can't help it. So do you feel comfortable talking about what you're playing? It's okay to say no. Like this is
I mean, I don't mind. It's fine.
you don't have to give me the whole list. Just give me like
I mean, if people were paying attention to what I've been playing before, they'll know that I've been playing Blizzard Force. So I'm going to play some variation of that.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know the exact upgrades, but I'll figure that out. I did have like a few games with Asajj, and I really, really wanted to make Asajj work. So I, proxied her, and I played her with Staps. She's pretty good with that. But if I'm playing her with Staps, it kind of feels like a janky bootleg version of Blizzard Force.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would I want to take Diet Coke when I could just take regular Coke? So that was the conclusion I came with that. And then I was like, okay, let me try her with Ion Spiders. And while that list is not bad and I can bid like crazy, I don't think I like the stationary objectives anymore. I think I've come to that realization.
Yeah.
So like stuff like intercept, key positions, like it's not my favorite objectives anymore. Where before I loved to play lame and just sit back.
Yeah.
But not so much anymore. So
dude,
I'm glad
KB.
I came to the realization. So I'm gonna go into Adepticon with my head high and be the villain I am.
Hey, look, dude, it's like real talk. The only reason I'm doing not Blizzard Force or Dark Troopers is because I've built my career on not playing what is considered like the good thing and then trying to win with crazy things. And my KD is terrible. My KD is dog shit. Like I've lost so many tournaments. I've come in 0-3 so many times. If you look at my elo, I've got like 70 or 80 tournaments like marked. And I've only recently just got the good grace of Lord Vader. We're reaching the Sistine Chapel, but me putting my finger out and he's on the lat, like reaching out and pointing, like touching mine. It's like Lat Vader like just happened to be good for that one event. And like Mad Max was only really good because it was this weird time where like Blizzard was just starting to like hit tables, but no one really brought any anti-vehicles, so I could just kind of run roughshod over you. Now it's bad. Do not play Mad Max right now. You're gonna don't do it. Don't do it. It's like, man, white armor saves.
Awful
don't
time.
do it. And so like if I didn't build my career on playing weird stuff, and like that's kind of where my little niche is, I would absolutely be playing Double Dark.
On that note, Evan, have you listened to the new Scoundrels that just went up today?
I'm gonna be real. I never listened to any of the Scoundrels. What they say.
Kyle made an impassioned plea to you specifically
Oh no.
to just play
Yeah,
an
he
Op
did.
Vader list.
Oh, did he?
He was
Oh,
like,
no.
Evan, please, I love you, man. You got to go back to Vader.
Oh no. Oh god. Okay, now I have to listen to it. Damn it. All right. Yeah, it's Op Vader's just so good. Like,
He's disgusting. It's
Dude.
It is insane.
it's sometimes I do stuff and then I just watch the life drain from my opponent's eyes. And they're not being crappy, or they're just like, oh, he just keeps going. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna implacable tap your VAP twice. Your turn.
Yep.
You know, like, or I'm gonna like, dude, hostage. Like, when we had our game, Corey, that was me not even using Vader's might. It's like, okay, he's over here now.
Yeah, that was.
I still have force push.
Oh,
by
I still
the
have
way.
nightmares on that one.
Dude. I felt
Yeah.
like we were like playing, but I felt real bad. I'm like, oh, he can't win. Like, there's just no like.
Yeah.
You would have had to have done some really stupid stuff to even catch up, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like Vader only got better with like this new rules update.
Dude.
So
Yeah,
at
much
LVO,
better.
I had a game against another Blizzard Force, but it was like he was running like Veers instead, and like more trooper based. And we ended up on KP, and I was like, oh, I just need to save Master of Evil for turn 6, and I'm gonna just make him very sad. And I felt really bad. I was like, I know three of your guys are touching the center KP, but you have 4 suppression on each of them now, like after shooting them as well. I was like, Vader didn't actually end up killing any of them. So I was like, this is great.
Despite the fact that he
the rich get
could've.
richer like situation.
Yeah, it's
like that feels so bad to play against.
It's wild. Like, I should play Empire. I should play Up Vader. There's even like a Gideon Vader double Dark Trooper list.
He's
that I was
having
looking
his
at.
Bilbo moment.
You could kind of just do, yeah, like why
Yeah.
shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I? Which is really funny because that's Corey
Holding a
and
little
I,
Vader model. Why?
well,
Why
yeah,
shouldn't I
why
play?
not?
Why shouldn't
Why
I?
shouldn't I? Corey and
It's my
I
precious.
we actually hung out more. So we played that stream game, and then I forget, was it Saturday or Sunday or something? We were both not playing Legion. It might have been after I lost. It was after I got knocked out by the Ion guy, and he saw me moping. I was just like slumped in a chair with like half a Guinness in my hand, and just staring at like wrestling models or something. You're like, hey buddy, hey
Hey,
how you
need a
doing?
friend? Can I buy you a beer and let's go roam the hall?
okay, I just wanted to win what? You know, like, then you like led me around like a child. As I was like, I guess we'll go look at some wrestling models. Buying something might make me feel better. And
we had a
got
good time playing Rebel Slam. So
we
there you
did,
go.
yeah. So that worked out. But it's like I really should. It just every event. So the last 3 the events I've done well in, PAX, Nova, and Adepticon, and before that I always played Empire. They're just really good. Empire, like, the only weakness to Empire is like other Empire. Like, man, the HH12 value just skyrocket. Like, what?
Yes.
Like,
Who would ever
runs-
thought that?
Yeah. Like, what do you do? Like, sorry, Brendan, I saw you were gonna say something. I mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I mean, Empire on Empire matchups are definitely that's where Empire's best, which is kind of weird.
Dude, it's wild though, right? Like, it's so I was looking at like Rebel stuff, and I'm like, well, okay, Evan, time to really like, how are we gonna make Rebels work? So the short answer is you don't. But the long answer is Battle Force.
There's a lot of impact and critical.
Well, you do critical, right? Because their impact's kind of awful. The ion gun, pretty bad. Because they have to get hit, and if they have red dice with a surge, they're not. So you shoot him once, the Dark Troopers go, hey, that's cute, and then they just 2-round that unit. Maybe 1 round if it's like with the launcher. So like, they're toast. That's 60 something points just sent to the Dark Realm. And then they have the bloop tube, the range 2 impact 1.
I forgot
shotgun.
that had impact on it.
Yeah, just
Yes.
impact 1 for some reason. Like,
That's
okay,
great.
so you probably roll a crit, and then you'll have 1 impact, and then they go, okay, I take a damage, and they just 2-round you, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, if you're in range 2 of
You're
dark
dead.
troopers.
You're so dead. Or I call it honest armor. So honest armor to me is any armor that has white saves. Because I feel like when you get that crit in, there's like a chance they take a damage, right? You're like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple hits in. Where red armor is just like you just see him pick up like those 2 red dice. You're like, oh man, okay.
Why do you say that, Evan?
Double AAT or like I don't even really mind the tanks that much because they feel like tanks. Like I should be kind of nervous
They
about
hit
an
less
AAT,
hard than dark troopers once.
which is wild.
So-
Which is wild that tank doesn't. Okay.
I feel sad for the tank, the AAT specifically.
Dude, for real, like finally
Yeah,
my time to
And then
shine.
you know what's bad? I've decided that it's my only hope.
I mean, look, when
Against bikes, that's like barrage is legit.
oh dude,
So-
Yeah.
it is. What's funny is I had this idea of like, I'll bring a double airspeeder generic commander echo base list that was just like FDs and the whatever everyone's built it like the no hero echo base list. And I went against Grammar's just double AAT, and then each turn after turn 1 he removed an airspeeder because it's that impact shell. He's like 6. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll save. Okay, nothing. Yeah, that's fine. Then like 1B1 shoots a crit and then just pops it, and I'm like, so Wedge Antilles, the best pilot in the galaxy, just got like down by a random errant B1 shot. Like
What did you call it?
Yeah.
Honest armor?
honest armor. Yeah,
It's
It's,
sad armor.
All right.
yeah.
we can-
what it is
we
now,
can-
right? Like it's
We can pull up my list. It's pretty easy.
it's
So,
yeah,
yeah.
nope,
not Republic.
Oh, not Empire.
Nope, not Empire either.
Nope.
I'll
Just
get
go
there's
for
some
it.
running out. Not a
All
rebel.
right. So we start off with the T series.
Yeah, I guess.
Just the basic T series.
You're doing the
with-
Battle Force, right?
I am doing the Battle Force Separatist Invasion.
Yep.
With a relay.
With a
That is
relay.
very important to keep order control on the tanks.
Yep.
Then I'm running 6B1s.
Yep.
4 of them have the E5S on
Okay.
them. 2 of them have a repair droid, and actually one of them, has both an E5S and a repair droid.
So 3 repair droids or just
3
another
repair
E5S?
droids, 4 E5S, 6 squad.
Okay.
So one squad is doubled up.
Okay.
And then 2 AATs.
Then 2 tanky
Exactly
boys.
the same. No pilots.
Yep. Just double shell.
Double shell and
LTA.
targeting array. Yeah. So that is 9 activations. So 2 things that can hit really hard on dark troopers. And what I'm banking on is each AAT throws about 6 into darks. But the thing that helps them is that they can do it all in one shot. Like between the dark troopers, move, shoot, move, back in next activation. So I'm hoping to at least bank a little bit on the timing there. And then
it's also hard to hide from tanks. Like
It's just hard to hide from tanks.
you'll see them. They don't get cover, right?
Yeah.
And
And it covers a surprising distance when it strafes.
and hey, you can say you're that guy playing
I
like
am
the most
well,
fair battle force, I guess. It's like
I
don't
am
know. Let's
I'm
pick
not
random
taking
cards here.
I'm taking AI coordination, but I'm not taking the other 2 battle force cards.
What? What?
They-
Not,
they
you mean
specific-
unstoppable advance isn't doing it for you?
My
Like,
B1's getting free moves.
Okay,
No.
you don't want to take that free move, huh?
I want to order like just about everything else other than those B1s.
Yeah, that's fine. But no, playing against it's solid. It's like it's funny because it's actually like a weird counter to my list. So it's like your crit city.
Yes.
And so I've got like dodges and cover and all this stuff to pull hits around. And you're like 2 crits. And I'm like, gosh, shit, Chewie's already tapped. I already used my barrier. And I have a dodge, but it's not I don't have SA, so I'm like, god damn it. And I'm like rolling like just one like B1's just slowly picking off rebel vets.
Yeah.
But
it's
no,
oddly rare for like the E5S squad to actually just break cover with hits. It's just like 2
yeah,
crits.
just crits,
All right.
yeah.
2 crits.
You'll-
two,
All right.
two crits is
All
like
right,
what
2
you hope
crits.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
But,
mean, that's what they should.
cool.
If they're at full health, it's what they should get. They're throwing 8 dice with crit 1. You're looking at 1.95 crits or whatever on average. And that's like it.
So no, this is pretty solid playing against it. And I think you're in the LCQ, right?
I am in the LCQ.
So
a
you'll-
scrub doesn't have an invite.
I mean, so your
Me
odds are pretty
too.
good. Me too. I'm surprised. I thought you had an invite.
No, only top placing I got was at PAX, and that did not have an invite.
Yeah, you
so
did very good at PAX, by the way. You came in third or second?
second.
Second. That was a good. Damn, that was a real tough. Like that PAX went from like free tournament, super casual, come hang out with your friends, to like Sweat Lord City in like
All the top players.
Yeah, just like everybody showed
The
up.
top 50 in the ELO list. Okay.
Yeah. My only loss was to Kyle. So
Yeah, all right.
you know.
That tracks. Yeah, that's my only my only loss was to Kyle too at Nova. But no, like that was a good showing. So I think you both have a good chance of getting out of unless there's like
I don't know. They said that the top 16 will be on standby,
Doc 16 ain't bad.
which is
all the 3-0s.
which is
Yeah.
3-0s. Yeah.
That's not bad.
So
You have good
you
odds
just
there.
can't fumble a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
it's unfortunately like I think on day one of the world's 2-1s go, so you can lose
Mhm.
one.
Yeah,
You're still in
2-1s
it.
go.
Which is cool in a way because you win your 2 games. Like if you do like win-win, that third game you can almost just like, hey man, I need to go lay
Yeah,
down.
it,
like,
it
we'll
does
play,
reset
but
the
like I
bearings.
need to
You
like.
don't. I think it is a completely new like Swiss format. So
Yeah,
you
I
don't
think
have
so.
to. Like you can.
But you can lose that
Feel like
last
you need
game and
to.
not be like, oh, I just spent like 12 hours playing Legion and like I lose because I swapped like Witch with my leader and I moved them wrong. Something like really like your brain's fried move. But
Nice Evan on this shoulder says you can just not play the game, and if you want, go home and rest. Evil Nick on this shoulder says if it's a bad matchup for you, go ahead and just try to knock him out. You might get lucky.
Just kill him. No, strike first, strike fast, no mercy. But Brendan, what archetype are you playing? I won't put everyone else on the spot like I did.
I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I might bring Dark Troopers. I might, try and have them with Gideon. I mean, I played a game earlier today where I was trying out the Dark Trooper Protector I, which is exceedingly degenerate, and I don't think I'll bring that. But I'll probably end up on some kind of Op Vader list. It's
so
just he's so good, and he's honestly one of the units I'm most comfortable playing because I've been playing him for over a year.
Yeah.
Basically every list I've played has him in it. So, I mean, I just know I know how to play Vader well, and whatever I put around him is kind of, secondary in that regard.
What scares me most is I know Op Vader is going to be very prevalent, and my Op Vader counter in this list is to either A, just make a wall of AATs and just hide behind them.
Just hope he doesn't cut him down.
Or B, just hope that my B1 squads take him 2 shots to kill instead of 1, and it's a little bit inconvenient. And
just deluge him in B1s, like yeah, dude, he's just so good. Like and the worst part is it's like I'm not on the nerf Vader like train. I don't think anyone really is, because he's supposed to be good. He's like Vader.
He's supposed to be scary.
Now to be fair, I do think he is a lot better than Commander Vader. And that's maybe there's an argument like, hey, maybe Commander Vader should be the actual real scary one, and then Op Vader should be like the not as like scary guy, I guess. There's pros and cons.
I mean, personally, I have more fun playing Commander Vader over Op Vader, but especially with the increase of points on burst of speed, it's harder to
dude. It's brutal.
That
one
is
as well. Slow. That one is awful. I remember the first game I ever played of Legion. I played it wrong. I didn't know he moved 1, so I was moving him 2. And my buddy and I were like, "Oh man, Vader's really scary." I'm like, "Yeah, he seems pretty good." Then I reread the card, and we played again, and I'm like inching across the board. It was like Long March or something, and it like just was not like he wasn't getting there to like turn 5 or something. It was just like
I
some
remember
terrible
that
like
the beginning days of Legion when
Oh.
like you dropped Darth Vader as soon as you could. You're like, oh, Veer's Boba. Nope, we're swapping. All right.
yeah. Then you finally get to your target and you roll like hit, surge blank. And you're like, oh my god. It was just like all right, lose 2 rebel troopers, I guess. And then he gets punched to death. You're like, okay, all right. Dark Lord of the Sith.
John's been on the receiving end of my Vader like way too often. So sorry, John.
I literally hate Vader. He's gotta be.
Oh, actually, yeah, John. What are you thinking for Worlds?
So I'm not going to Worlds,
Okay.
unfortunately. If I was, I'd be doing Anakin Pikes.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's like, man, it's such a good trick with a capo, just to play ploy when you know they're gonna play.
Oh,
flaw.
it's so nasty.
It's
Yeah.
like
they play the
actually
flaw
big brain.
beforehand. You can just see it. Like,
yeah, you're like, oh,
bam.
okay, yeah,
oh,
all right,
okay,
well, never
this
mind.
does nothing.
Well, and the Pike stock even goes up more because they have all the impact. So
dude, for real.
if you can get some
Yeah.
RPS fire support into Pikes or Anakin, I mean, there's so many different fire supports now that went up in value against Dark Troopers.
I think like it's crazy that like clones were considered like the worst, right? Everyone's like, oh, clones are bad, they're too good list, blah blah blah. But now they're like the like the dark horse counter, or if you're a double dark player and you see someone show up with like Anakin's saber throw RPS, you're like, oh god, okay, I'm gonna lose like 3 models a turn, 2 models a turn, like yikers. And then luckily and unfortunately, Anakin's one of those units that doesn't have access to like a double swing. It's like 2 force users in the game that can't double swing, or there was 3. Maybe I don't know, Darth Maul doesn't have double swing, or access one like Obi-Wan's got like hello there, where you can take a standby, so he can like beat you a couple times. Vader's got implacable. Yoda just double swings. Just
Dooku kind of has it.
yeah,
he's
with
sorta-
his big one, he can like at least zap, because his zap is like a slightly less good Luke lightsaber, but maybe better because it has like suppressive and like range and all
range,
that other
yeah,
and all that other stuff. So he's like, he suffers from that like, man, I really wish I could still share standbys, where he could just be like, yep, throw it again, okay, like here we go. But no, he's like, even though you're throwing once a turn, with Dark Troopers, they want to get there, so you're probably throwing almost every other turn, like at least maybe besides turn 1. So you're just ripping those guys apart, and that's like you're like, you're gonna run to a guy, like you're gonna put your army down, and he's like, oh man, I'm gonna make it. I just spent all night painting my Dark Troopers. All right, here we go. They said this list was the best. Then like he runs into you, and you just like evaporate the units, and he's like, oh, Dark Troopers are garbage. Oh my god, these things are terrible. Why is everyone so uppity about this? And you're just like, yeah, man, whatever. Sorry, bud. Handshake, GG. And you move on. Like, you just like ruin this dude. But like, that's like, no one's gonna really be mad besides that guy. Right? Everyone's like, hey, you beat Dark. Yeah, handshakes all around, firm handshakes. Like, good job, you did it.
Yeah.
It's just a wild time right now.
It's such a hard time. And I think why the clones are getting a little bit of attention. It's such a hard time to make a list that feels like it can do good into Blizzard and do good into Darks.
Oh yeah,
because they are the completely opposite thing, and
man. HH12, though, like this
They're
is
the
like
best weapon in the game,
dude.
honestly.
Like for real, like what?
It's
like,
gotten to the point where I think, well, I'm on the fence about switching in an HH12 in the HRU unit for like one of the heavies. It's gotten to that point.
I mean, honestly,
this might be a
like,
legit idea.
That's
like
how you outbid all the other Blizzards.
Also that.
You could do that if you want.
I mean, you do that, and you do what do you do with the other one? You think DLT probably? You're just going for all that impact, right? Like you're really just making.
I think so. Either that, or you want to get more dice to make like that ranged attack slightly better against regular troopers.
So then
I go back and forth on this one.
Because it's like you could have
correct play. Impact 3 with a bunch of dice to make sure that you get your Impact 3.
Yeah,
at range 4.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, that's like and HRUs don't really move, right? They kind of just like get a spot and they're like, all right, this is
Yeah,
where I
not
live
really.
now.
The only time they move is like breakthrough payload. That's really it.
Just to keep up with it. I mean, like it's kind of, I'm at the time where like I can't be mad at HH12s because they've just been like desk fodder. Like you've got a bin somewhere of just HH12s that you put together.
I've
that you
literally
haven't
got
painted.
2 right here.
Yeah, they're just
shoved
sitting
in
like
the corner of my desk.
Before I organized my stuff, I had 6 on the shelf, right? And I had no intention. I was gonna like take them apart and make a diorama with one, like right, like just like destroy them because I'm like I'm never using these. But now it's like, oh, that guy who ran like 6 at was it Rocky Top? No.
This primed is Rocky Mountain, maybe?
Rocky
Mountain. It was
Mountain,
before
yeah.
Rocky.
I think it was Rocky. Yeah.
But yeah, I've got this HH12
Oh,
from the release of the game, unpainted prime sitting over here.
It's
nice. I had to go digging for mine. I'm like, I think I painted them, but this was like years ago.
Oh, I
So
only see 2
opened up my
of
box.
them.
And
There
I'm
should be
like,
2 more
look,
somewhere.
I have at least 4.
Look at these little guys. The guy who won with 6 in any other tournament ever, I would have been like, oh, yo, this guy is just some lucky dude who's like, he just, you know what? Now it's like, oh, that was a big brain meta choice. He really figured it out. It's like, even if you just did, you're not doing Blizzard, HH12 and Specialist, 69, nice, 69 points, but nice,
Nice.
but it's like that's a pretty good like 70 points. Like
I was always kind of worried about the HH12, like if it was your main thing. That people used to, for a brief second, like people used to run them that loadout in the back of the Dav.
Yeah, I tried it,
and it was like a suppression would just like throw the whole thing off. But if
Yeah,
there's like if you're putting forward like other more meaningful threats, they're probably not going to get suppressed, and that suddenly kind of changes the script a bit.
Man, poor occupier tank. Will it ever?
I know.
Be good?
I got so excited for that unit. I bought 2, painted them up, and
there was a short time when like it was like Veer's double occupier. Oh, God, this was right when it came out that it was like
very short time.
Yeah, it was doing okay. Like someone wrote an article about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's like Valkyrie Chronicle." You're like, "Let's go tanks!" Yeah, and then like it just gone. Like like it was there.
Oh,
now,
these
like,
things can't move. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Like you pretty much have to go to your tournament organizer and be like, "Hey, I'm bringing Gav tanks," and they have to go, "Oh," they have to understand what you're saying, and then go, "Okay, I need to make it so you can play this unit." Like, period. Like I need to like create some roads so this thing can like get up. Like
right. So it did get a buff with the new rules.
That's
now
right.
it can move over things that are shorter than it instead of half of its height, which was ridiculous.
Hooray! I can go over a barricade now.
Yes.
Like, isn't that a sad thing to say?
Yeah.
Like,
You
oh,
still
man.
can't like go over like any other piece of terrain.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, the
Right.
AAT is over here doing donuts around buildings.
Dude, I hate what you do with the AT. It's like it just like, well, the tip top's not quite on top, and I'm like, okay, all right, I guess. And like my airspeeder
hover
can't
up
do
top.
something. Yeah, just
Yeah.
we're up here. Like I want the gaff to be like, I don't need it to be meta defining, but I need someone to take it and me not to go like, oh, well, free lunch. All right, like, yes, I will destroy your tank. Because in theory, when it gets into range 2, like 3 red, 3 black, search to hit probably, like suppressive, impact 2, like that's some good keywords. It's just it will never get there. So
Even at, I mean, with the gunner, even at range 4, it's not bad. 3 red, 2 black, 3
and then
white.
yeah, 3 red, 2 black, 3 white, like with a pintle, like
Yeah, like
That's
it's
a
okay.
solid,
not bad
solid pick.
dice. It's just getting there to that point.
and it's too bad because you want to like we say all this. There was that one crazy guy at LVO went like 6x double Sith, and like I remember seeing that number and I'm like, oh, this is just some local who like showed up. He's like, well, this is just everything I own, right? Like, here we go, just happy to be here. And the guy goes like 5-1, beats Blizzard, beats Evan, Blizzard on bombing run, which I was just like flabbergasted how that happened. And Evan's a good player, like, so that means like it was like a tight game, right? To have that happen. Then he also, his story also ended with Kyle, which seems to be a lot of stories end with Kyle. So
Yep. My story at LVO also ended with Kyle.
Hey Kyle,
So,
really
Just
appreciate
over here
you
ruining
coming to all these
everybody's
tournaments.
dreams.
If you could
look,
just not come to a
I
few.
want to write my own story too, Kyle.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, buddy, like we appreciate you want to be the top guy, but if you could just not show up to a couple tournaments to let some of us other, I just want some trophies. I just want a few trophies. But turns out you can make your own trophy for like $10 and no one will know the difference. Just come back, make one, hide it in your bag, and then when your wife asks how'd you do, you just come back. I got first. Look at the first place trophy. Right?
That's such a good idea.
And she'll be like, "Wow, you did it! I'm so proud." You're like, I did it.
I did it.
It's just raining in here a little bit. I don't know.
Do you think I elaborate about the skirmish medal? Nope.
Oh God, no! I don't even want to talk about that stupid skirmish medal. You beat up some guys who are like, "Wow, skirmish is a fun tournament with like
Wow, Magna Guards.
double magna."
Neat.
I remember, Nick. I remember.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
I did basically the same thing at ACO last year. I won one of the skirmish tournaments with the Dooku double.
You're like, you put that down. I'm like, I brought like, well, it's Bosk and Krennic, and they're gonna do some like Death Troopers just die, like you just they get shocked to death. Like, oh yeah, I guess Dooku's one pip's pretty good, huh? Okay, well, maybe those stormtroopers will carry their weight. Ripped apart. But we do actually have some news. Today, actually, for once, I landed on the day when they announced something, which is curse of the podcasting. But Cody was fully revealed. Everything comes in this box. There's gonna be 3 models in the box. You'll get Waxer and Boyle, which I'm like, I really love the Boyle art. It's just, I've always wanted to create. So at the 5th Trooper, we make like what if scenarios a lot with like Stormtide or other things. And I've always wanted to do a Waxer Boyle mission where it was the episode where they're like trying to sneak in, and the town was under attack by CIS, and he rescues a child. Like they have
That's
like
the card art, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's card art.
He's
So-
rescuing the Twi'leks. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually
that's
like,
Boyle rescuing Numa.
yes,
That is her
yeah.
name.
And that's super cool. And like it's what I've always wanted to make as a learning game for people of Legion. So we've got spec ups now, which kind of upped like, hey, your hero's got like 10 health and you shoot like 5. It's kind of what I want to do. You make like a super unit for those 2, and you explain like ranges and movement. And you just have some like AI dog things walking around. Like the AI is not smart, and you just do like print out 2D buildings. Like you just can't see over the buildings. And so a dog moves. If he sees you, he moves toward kind of like real basic. And that teaches people how to move and like roll dice and do damage. And you're getting to play something that like was a cool moment in Star Wars, and not just like, here's your learning game. You get Luke and 2 rebels, and I get Vader and 2 stormtroopers with a bike, and you get an ATRT. And all you learn from that is like, man, rebels are terrible. And you're like, no, they're good.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, the ATRT didn't do a whole lot for you, did it? Like, man, speeder bikes are good. Like, it doesn't really feel like a cool Star Wars moment, where I feel like something like this is like, especially if you were a Clone Wars kid, like that's a cool moment you could like relive. So I really think that's awesome. But to go over his card, he's just keyword soup. Like he's got all the good stuff. Man, this seems to be like the wave of the free observe. Gideon had it too. So it's the free observe wave, which if it's anything like anything they ever do, you'll never see this again. Like it's like the low profile wave. It's like the
I do like that there is actually no new keywords on Cody.
No,
he's set.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's true. The restraint they've held on making Cody has been great. I guess direct vehicle is new, but at least that's like established. Observe 2, jump 1, take cover 1, direct vehicle, target 1, 2 red in melee. But the real show is his DC 15A, 1 to 4, 2 red, black and white, lethal 1, impact 1, surge to crit, red dice defense, 5 health, 2 courage, which they have to be 2 courage, right? Because that's just how the game works. But I've always been very upset that clone heroes don't have 3. He's in like every other episode. Like he's like, besides like name guys, he's like Randor Rex for showing up to things. But that's fine. He gets shot by a mortar once and he just wants to give up. It's okay. It's fine. But he does get a command slot, a training slot, and a tech slot. And his cards were announced today. And they're pretty rad.
So let's talk about the card for a sec, though.
His unit card?
Yeah, so he looks like he'd be pretty good for the kicking off a fire support. One surge crit is nice,
absolutely.
but he also has the option for Pierce and Impact built in. That's pretty nice. If he's got an order, which he probably will, he's got a free aim to throw on that. Potentially Observe on there as well if he's within range 3 to do it. Keep that in mind. Observe is only range 3. So
yeah, actually, John,
not
you're
always a given.
the resident clone player. What's your thoughts on this cloney boy?
Love him. I mean, I would probably take him at 105 regardless of what his command cards say.
Yeah.
Just for that range 4 surge crit. I mean, the amount of different fire supports that you can set up are amazing. He seems like great value. I love that it is lethal 1 and impact. I was putting in our Discord earlier today with me, Corey, and Brendan, like Anakin Cody lists that you could do. And I was saying like old school arcs are back because he almost acts like an arc. Like you could do him and Echo, and he's like a juiced up arc trooper almost.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with him. And I mean, his command cards being spoiled, I was counting down the days to see those, and they're all, none of them seem crazy overtuned. But yeah, he seems like great value.
I think.
Well, everyone's got to have one like outstanding card.
Should we save it for last?
I mean, yeah, we'll just go in order. It's fine. So my only issue with his cards is they are super wordy. They are like, there is a
paragraphs on each.
Which is, again, eventually when you play Legion a lot, and especially if you play the unit a lot, you can just boil it down for your opponent. Like, all right, I'm going to hand out, I'm going to do my observe twice, and then I can spend 1 to make it suppressive or impact 1 on your guy I'm shooting. You're like, okay. But the first time you play somebody who doesn't know, you have to read the block, right? It's just what it is. So bring it down, which is if you're 40k
is
player,
1 pip.
Yeah, it's just 1 pip, and it's also like a 40k thing for a guard.
It's a guard order.
Cool. Yeah, which is cool. Like,
did not know
that. That's neat. During his activation, Clone Commander Cody may perform his it says free action. His free actions up to 2 times. So right now it's really just observe, but is there anything else you can equip that gets a free action?
Supply drop?
Supply drop.
Oh,
really it?
Two back this out, you idiots. Like,
yeah.
You thought I was gonna shoot you.
Hollow projectors for days.
Oh god, you dummy. Thanks for the 2 things. Man, imagine if doing that was like how you won a game. It's like, wow, double like
are there any free actions on upgrade cards? Is it like his O push a free action?
No.
You'd have to recover to
No.
do again, but no.
When I saw those, I actually went through and looked at every single equipable upgrade card because I was like, maybe there's something that like I forgot about that I could add, and there are not any. So it's just for the observe too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Doing a quick.
Ascension cables.
Ascension cables.
There we go.
But it is
double
double scale. So you have
scale.
to like, you could do it, recover, then do it again, and then like scale.
You don't scale twice.
It lasts
you don't
to
really
the end
gain
of the turn
much.
anyway.
Yeah,
I think it lasts. Yeah.
And he's already got jump 1.
That's just like a weird flex. Like if you're already winning, you're just like plop, and you're like, I'm using such cables twice. Like, okay, get out of here. But anyway, so he may perform his free actions up to 2 times. When a friendly unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, you may spend the token. If you do, the attack can suppress if it's a trooper unit and impact 1 if it's a vehicle unit. Note to this that maybe Hounding Grizzer come back, or even show up. Like,
Yeah,
They
back?
may show up if you want the observation meta to be a thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was telling Corey and John yesterday. Obviously, this is the beginning of the Republic Lat meta.
Oh, dude, please. Like, okay, there's got to be some people out there who just buy Republic. They're not like, I'm a whale for Legion. Like, it's pretty much, I just at this point, whatever comes out, I'm like pre-order. But there's some honest folks with wallet control that I really respect. Who are just like, I just buy one army. That's it. Just buy this army and that's all. And so congratulations, you finally get a new unit as Gar. Like, yeah, all right, that's good. And two, like, you might actually put that lat you bought that's been sitting in the box for like 2 years, like on the table. I'm not saying it's amazing, but like it's something. Like, I don't know, like Cody and then a lat with probably Grizzer, because why not just lean into the meme of the long shell and then maybe LTA? They just recover fire with an aim each turn. Like,
Yeah,
that's okay. Like, that ain't bad. Or if you don't aim fire ever, you just like observe fire or something. Like, there's some like you've got, look, you're just really saving that observe for like off turns or when Cody plays his 1-pip. So like,
I mean, why wouldn't you do observe over aim anyway?
You observe,
Oh,
you
yeah.
observe
4
instead
dice.
of aiming,
That's
but
true.
it's just when do you might have to recover. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing that sucks.
But still, like, that's okay. Like, it's not amazing, but like, it doesn't have to be amazing.
I don't know if I'd bring it in to like throw suppressive on like a target.
Does observe work in melee? I forget.
I think so.
Yes,
I think so.
Well, you know
Yes.
What? Okay, hear me out. What if you like observe a bunch and then you transport a Wookiee unit, and you just go ham?
you just observe, move up, observe. And then
Does the
run up and just
1-pip
start like punching like crazy?
say range tag or something?
Don't remember.
Players and attack.
If you do an attack against suppressive, so yeah, you could.
I mean, it only works once.
Well, that's it. It does, but that's a funny, interesting thing. So it's like maybe they do. There's probably a time when like a force user takes a standby instead, and then Wookiees are in melee with them. So maybe because maybe he wants you to punch so you can hit back or something, right? Or they do deploy the garrison, and you play this, and then you punch.
You go, got him.
And then you punch and you're like suppressive, like, yeah. You thought this was just a Jin's patata. Like, I mean, like, it's a good card. It's like it's one of those like cards. It's like, it's not like Son of Skywalker, which is like very bombastic. Like, I'm gonna roll 12 black dice and I'm gonna delete something. It's not like quite as crazy as that, but it's also like you can give that guy 2 observe, give that guy 2 observe, have Hound and Grizzer, give a third guy observe, and now they're just gonna be buried in suppression, right? Just like, yeah, I don't even, this like my officer's running up just shooting with his pistol just to give you 2 suppression, just because it's like just to bury you, and like that's a good anti-force user card, because if they happen to be in an unfavorable position of being shot, you just like say, here you go, like good luck, have fun. Or poor General Grievous, poor Uncle Chief just gets observed twice and wants to lay down for his old timer nap.
I need a nap.
But very cool. Very cool and good. And then I love when they do quotes. I'm a sucker for that. Have I ever let you down? And then obviously, like, there's things you can do with this, but this is like the picture on the front's like the please do this. We really want you to make 212 a thing. While a unit that was issued an order by this card is at range 1 of Clone Commander Cody and suffers wounds from an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, if Clone Commander Cody is at range 4 and has LOS to the enemy unit, he may perform an attack against that unit. So this is actually kind of nuts. It's his real bombastic card. Grammar, you had some thoughts on it.
All right, so this wording is very specific. So it is worded so that if you suffer wounds from an enemy attack, that is very different than you being a target of an attack. And it's specifically there with Obi-Wan on because they want you to use Obi-Wan's Guardian so that if Obi-Wan takes a damage, then you can shoot with Cody and it's cool, but you took a wound on a Jedi and that's all fine and great. But what you can actually do is take his best friend, Boyle, I think it is, and put him in a squad and stretch Guardian 1 across like your entire clone ball. And that suddenly gets a lot more scary when It's about a coin flip on every time your opponent shoots if Cody's going to shoot him back or not.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's because you could fire support off that, right? If you had a face
Yep.
up.
Yes,
so
you could.
You could just like have a turn where they keep shooting. Like, I guess I'll just shoot at that guy again, and then like always like, oh, I'm taking that. Oops, took a damage, and you just get like a Z6 surge to crit, lethal fire shot like in your teeth again, like twice or something.
You couldn't do that without like some relay shenanigans.
Probably,
Be-
but there's
Well,
there's
because an
tricks.
order would go on to Cody, and an order would have to go on Obi-Wan.
Yeah, you could
Also
have
a vehicle if you have a
You
vehicle.
could have a generic in there
Yeah,
too.
so you'd have to. Yeah, it could be vehicles don't have fire support.
They
You'd
have
have to
relay, so
re-
you can give
yeah.
a face up. So
They'd have to relay off of that to
yeah.
fives,
that's-
and he'd bounce to another guy, and then you could do it twice.
Oh man, that's actually a lot. At first it was a meme, but now it's like adding up pretty but like that's
Oh, yeah.
actually really cool. I kind of wish it was Commander Cody and Obi-Wan. I know it makes the card a lot less good, but like I'm a sucker for those like I'm a sucker for the MCP. But the one thing I really do like about MCP is like one of the cards is like to the end of the line, and it's only a Captain America and Bucky card. It's like, oh, it's thematic, it's cool, it's just them back to back fighting, and like I'm a sucker for that, but that's fine. Combined arms. So this is one of the wordy ones. I mean, they're all wordy, but this one is 2 troopers and 2 vehicles, so that's a lot. I think that's the second card we've seen that does 4. The first one was we're not programmed, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Combined arms.
No,
3 pip.
Catch Strike.
Oh yeah, I forget that. Like it.
True.
I'm never counting Iden in that one. It's just Iden and like whatever else. But yeah, that's correct. During his activation, Clone Commander Cody may perform his observe actions 2 times until he gets something else. It's just observe twice. When a friendly vehicle unit declares an attack against an enemy unit that has an observation token, they may spend the token. If they do, after the attack, a friendly clone trooper at range 1 of that vehicle may perform a speed 1 move. So like, it's not like incredibly flashy, but to kind of like get your guys up the field in the range, like
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I saw this and immediately went for like, oh, that can set up some fire support shenanigans.
Yep.
You can
Absolutely.
move people without affecting their tokens. You could even like go like, all right, so if you did something like really crazy, like a saber tank with like the turret and the main gun, and you observe 2 different things, you could turret shot something, spend an observe, move the unit, and then main cannon something else and fire support with that unit you just moved into position. Just timing on that fit.
I think so.
I think that's pretty right.
Seems good. seems okay.
This is gonna be one of those cards that is just gonna like, oh, it does what? Like
Yeah.
when it happens to you.
Yep.
This reminds me of like Padme's 2-pip, where like every time it sneaks up on me, where I'm like, oh, you just moved up. Oh no, you have a fire support set up and you're going first. I'm in danger.
My first thought on this is, how far can I catapult a clone squad?
Just keep launching them up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I'm running triple barks and they each have 2 guns, I've got like if I got the lat with an observe and 2 barks, can I just like make a clone move like 6 times in a turn and just like throw him somewhere?
Oh god, there's something funny that was very similar to that about standbys procking. Oh, it was when clones could share standbys, that you could like line guys up right, and then when the standbys were proc, they could just like launch themselves like through like up a line. If you like, no one ever used it for that. Used it for killing, not for like crazy moves, but a machine made for killing even. But this is like, so my big hope is, so most things in card art we get in the game, and I see that big tanky boy in the back, and I'm like, please,
I want it.
Yeah,
Can
just
you
give them
imagine
something.
how? All right, so we've seen the snail tank, how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, I mean, like they could. What's clone vehicles? God, this is gonna be a weird thing to type in. clone vehicles in Star Wars. Well, that wasn't too bad. Okay, here we go.
That's the ATTE.
That the
Yes.
walkie thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at the like, yeah, I guess it's just okay, we got the big spider ball, it's way too big. Little walkie thing,
The
three-legged guy.
three-later.
What is that?
That's maybe that could like fit on like an AT base.
It'd
be really tall, but it could do
ATAP.
Yeah.
So that's like reasonable. The walkie thing, like the problem is in the movies and stuff, it's pretty big, but they could size it down maybe and put it on like a truck base. But then it's like real.
No, it'd be way too narrow.
Yeah. It'd be way too. There's
The
no
problem
way
is
it would
that
work.
that those middle set of legs are so wide.
Yeah, so out there. I really thought, okay, there's just gun. Hey, did you bring your favorite unit? Yeah, the gun. Cool. All right.
Just like the FD
The
turret, except
artillery.
it's
Yeah,
just
you're right.
the clone version.
Just the gun with 4 legs. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I guess like I was for whatever reason, oh, man. Dude, it kills me
They
that
did
like
have those little like I don't even see them on here. They just like they were kind of long and narrow and just had like the one big laser on them that shot down like the ship, like 7 of them shot down the ship that was leaving in episode 2. And you never saw it again.
Yeah,
It was like
the
a city
steam
bus with a
artillery.
laser on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm always mad that like the clone ATRT did move 3, range 3, because in the show they were like, oh, this thing's really fast. And they're like, yeah, let's have a race. Like they're racing like the wild beasts, like, and then you get into game like Legion, it's like, well, they get Scout 1, so they're technically faster than a Rebel ATRT. Like, oh, okay. like I guess.
Little sadder, but yeah.
Yeah, like that's where's Mace Windu on one. Like, but yeah, so I'm hoping like more armor would be cool. Because what I think each Clone Wars and well, I'm sorry, I'm saying Clone Wars, GAR and CIS are both due a heavy, I think, right? Well, because they both have the lat. Maybe they have 3.
They have 3.
They have 3.
Your
each,
clones
yeah.
have 3, droids have 2.
Droids have 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. I know like Empire's got, well, Dark Troopers kind of count for that. Because I know
I want the
and
Separatists like wheel.
Oh
tank.
yeah, the Doom wheel.
Yeah, that's what I want. I don't know how big it would be, but it'd be fine.
I just want like just put some ratty boys on it and give me that Skaven Doom wheel. Like I'll proxy, I'll allow it.
Dude.
I want the Hailfire droid. Just take the snail tank base and turn it sideways, and just like roll that double wheel thing with all the missiles on it.
Oh yeah, that's like not unreasonable to have.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's like
yeah.
No, you're sure you're not the Skaven Doom wheel?
I mean, I'll take the Skaven one too. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like the Grievous thing.
Oh,
that
I mean,
yeah,
also funny.
That Doom wheel
Also
funny,
could be a Doom wheel. Like, all right, now we're talking. And I just want Skaven and Legion. That's all I really want. Actually, I really want a joke faction. We're not big enough for it, but I want like Gungans or Geonosians. We're not like AOS or 40K where you have like 20 factions and you can have like one goof one, and everyone's like, it's okay. Like,
yeah, I don't think we can afford that yet.
No, we can't. But man, a Gungan army's like,
you say that we're about to get Ewoks.
Oh god, dude.
And they will have their own battle force. So,
oh yeah,
dude, they're gonna be.
We're getting there.
The discourse we're gonna have that's like, man, Ewoks are too good. Who thought of this? Man, the rules are so sloppy. I can't believe they rid them. Like, I just already everything that we say about everything that comes out, I'm already like just being prepared for people complaining about Ewoks, about like the power curve. Like, please, no, I just can't. Like, I don't have it in me to like have to go into a chat and be like, oh, what's in comp chat today? Ooh, okay, Ewoks again. Right,
back away, not today.
I just can't. I just don't have it in me. But no, Cody good, man. Like,
Cody
even if
seems solid.
Yeah,
and there undetermined amount of tricks you could do. The Guardian thing just seems really solid because you can get an entire clone ball in range of a clone squad pretty easy when they're out in cohesion.
It's you know,
Then there might be some tricks on that combined arms 3-pip too. So
what'd you say, Brendan? Sorry. Brendan, were you saying something,
No,
Brendan?
I was agreeing with Nick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's he's cool. I can't wait. I'm excited to get just more. Look, man, I just want more toys. I'll take anything at this point. Like
Give me what you got.
yeah, show me what you got. Like it's
Show me the plastic.
show me the toy. Cause man, there's like we're running late, so I don't know. I'll have you guys on to do Glup your Glup Shido. We need to make you a character at some point. That's gonna happen. We'll reschedule for that. So don't think I forgot that.
Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no. We're gonna
mandatory.
Yeah, no, that is mandatory now. We just got talking about Adepticon for like an hour and a half. That's fine. But it's I just want like as content creators, you kind of get stuck talking about the same things like over and over. Like the game changes, but not like it's not like when 40K when they do something, it's like, oh, here's a whole new army. Here's the dwarfs, the squats, right? Like they got a new book. Here's 12 new models. Here's all stuff. Legion doesn't quite like have those shifts because even when the Clone Wars dropped, it was like, what was it? Barks, Obi-Wan, and Phase Ones, and
It was the bots.
Yeah, it was the
there
bots.
were droidicas in there. Thank you very much.
Were there though, dude?
Hey,
Man,
I have been a long time defender of the droidica.
What a debacle that
Same.
launch was. It was like everyone, gets on AMG about stuff, but FFG had some like, I think Legion's just cursed sometimes. It was like,
Yeah.
so they announced it at Adepticon 2019, the Clone Wars, and like, I was up front clapping my ass off like a jackass, like, yeah, all right. Hey, look at that Grievous model. Let's go. And then like you could buy the core set there, I think. And then Jay and I split one. And then because it was like one per customer or whatever. And then they were supposed to come out like 2 months later or something, and the shipments got all goofed up, so it became like almost a year. So there was like that time when it was just the core set of clones, and people didn't even have enough to like field an army because you got one. It was very like that one kind of gets forgotten a lot. It's like, oh, the Dewbackle, yeah, the Dewback base was like that sucked, but like it wasn't like, hey,
Somewhere that still exists, someone was playing with
oh
high plate
god,
Dewbacks,
right?
just destroying their local
someone
scene.
out there with like that giant pie plate with their Dewback and just running. I guess 3 units are in melee contact with me. I'll bite them all. It's just wild. But there's been like, I give AMG a lot of leeway because like FFG goofed a lot too, right? This wasn't like. I just think
I do want to
Legion's
say
cursed.
this, like their last since Boba, I think all of their releases have been on time, at least
Yes.
from what
Yeah.
I'm tracking.
Yeah.
So like that's already an upgrade in my book.
Yeah,
so I think
absolutely.
they're doing great. Whatever they're doing.
Are all the
keep it
battle
up.
forces back in circulation?
Oh
now?
well.
Okay, I forgot about that one, but-
we don't talk about the
But
Battle Forces
okay,
stuff.
like I hope they got it. Looks like they got it together.
Yeah, that's fair. It's and that's good because like you want the game to be as complete as possible. You don't want like my fear is always like new player buys X product, X product is missing thing. That was the Battle Force like worry, right? Like when I remember doing a demo game, I was at my store for Legion night, like I don't know, a month ago, and he's like, I'm like, hey, just tell me whatever army you want. I'll bring whatever, dude. I've got nothing else. The Legion's just what I got. Like, what do you want, man? Just do you want some clones? He's like, yeah, I love Rex. I'm like, all right, I'll make you a Rex list. So I made him Rex list, and he played it. He's like, wow, this is really great. What do I buy? And I'm like, oh, to play this? And I'm like, I made like I made as close to the core, the starter box as I could, really, just with Rex. And I'm like, oh, buy Rex and the like the army starter box, and you're good to go. And it's just gone, right? Because it had the issues or whatever, so it got pulled, and it's just like can't find it. And I'm like, or you could buy it all piecemeal, but please don't do that. please don't spend like $400 when $150 is like, just wait. Like please just wait. Get the deal. Get your card. Get your special cards, right? Like actual card back for your 501st cards. So we're almost there. We're almost to like, my dream is like you walk in to your local, and then you look at all that wall of GW and you go, Pishaw, sir, Pishaw, and you walk to your wall of Legion, and each army's got a starter box, and then each army's got like under the starter box is all the units you can buy for that thing. And we have like a wall like GW. So like we're not quite there. The product is getting deeper, where there's like a lot of SKUs that are kind of hard to find now because they're not like the rotation of product cycle, right? Isn't always like they're not probably printing like scouts all the time, right? So scouts will sell out and then they might be gone for like a couple months while they reprint them. But we're getting there, right? We're getting to like a spot where you can walk into a store and have a fully stocked store and like every SKU available. So we're almost there. And I really can't wait for that day. Because then you're playing somebody and you could recommend them the game and then they have everything right at their fingertips. And that's like, man, that's gonna be good. Right now it's like, my store doesn't stock well to begin with for Legion. 40K on point, every release on the nose. Legion's like, well, we ordered 2
40K. You
Asagas.
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
They,
you
they've
have
got
to.
well, they're like contractually
contract,
obligated to
yeah.
get like minimum orders, and like here's our suggested stuff, and there's like certain stuff
yeah.
they have to carry. Like it's
Space
yeah, it's a lot.
Marines.
Oh, because it's honestly, a little behind the scenes when we started Fifth Trooper and we carried GW for a little while. They let us carry it even though we were an online store, and they normally don't do that. Normally, you have to have a brick and mortar to sell 40K, and we had to buy so much crap, like unwanted crap, like all those like I think we still have some like Dark Imperium starters kicking around Jay's garage, just like on a shelf somewhere. Yeah, that no one wanted them because after like you bought the first wave, you can't get rid of them. And the guy was trying to talk something like Necromunda. It's like, dude, no one gives a shit about Necromunda. Like,
Like, I mean, watch your mouth.
It's got a small scene at my store, but okay.
Yeah, like it's like we're not buying 10 starter boxes of Necromunda.
Yeah.
For a primarily Legion, based thing. But whereas Asmodee used to do that too. Like you can't sell online unless you have a brick and mortar, and so that made it very tough for us because we wanted to sell Legion, but we're in a garage. Like we're at J Studios, like it's just garage, right? Like it's a two-car garage filled up with product. We can't open a store, right? It just wasn't especially like mid-pandemic. Like we're gonna open a brick and mortar when other brick and mortars
not a good look.
It's like suicide, right? So and then all of a sudden Asmodee, all of a sudden GW goes, you can't sell anymore, you have to have a store. And I'm like, okay. So we have like some remnants on our website, and Asmodee just go, never mind, do whatever you want. Like, you want to sell from online? Here you go. And so that was like a big boon for us, so we could do that and carry the products. That's all we really ever wanted to do, was be able to like talk about Legion and carry it, so you could just get like a one-stop shop for it. So they opened up, but even then, trying to get stocks tough. Like it's all very tough. Stocks. I'm getting into business stuff. Like that's Jay's thing. Listen to Jay. He'll talk about business stuff. It rubs off on me if I hang around Jay a lot. I'm like, well, the bottom line of this is like we're going to be losing $2 a thing, so we really can't be doing these tokens anymore. They're just too fancy. We got to defancy them. All right, take the hat off that you want. Yeah,
we need more Dark Troopers, Jay.
Dude,
I heard they're good.
Dude, that was I was up in
Troopers.
Canada at System Minis, and like I'm gonna rat out Luke Cook. So we played through the tournament. I think he went 3-0, and then Dean, who ended up winning, went 3-0. And as soon as tournament was over, Luke Cook turned and goes, "Where are those Dark Troopers?" And I was like, "How many you got?" "Yeah, I'll take a couple of those for my store credit." I'm like, Luke, you son of a gun, what are you doing?
What a guy.
But yeah. So I've thank you for being on, guys. I've rambled for like 2 hours, and I apologize. It's not. I just got real talky today for whatever reason. But before that,
Are you
Brendan,
surprised by that?
No, I'm never surprised. I just talk. Brendan, what do you got lined up?
Yeah, so I'm the new event organizer for the Atlantic City Open this year. It'll be Saturday, June 17th and Sunday, June 18th. 6 guaranteed rounds of Legion, 3 each day. Just doing a straight Swiss for the tournament. Currently working on lining up a bunch of sponsors for the event. to have a good time. As things get more clear, I'll share more on that, but I've got some fun ideas, including this year I'll be introducing a bounty board for the tournament. So
yes.
I've got all sorts of fun scenarios already set up for, what I think would be some fun bounties. Actually, let me pull one example up just for fun here.
My
Here we
favorite
go.
bounty I ever saw on a board that no one would ever do, it was called Ultra Tactical Droid. You had to kill a super tac with a normal tac droid. I think that was Griffin. I think Griffin used to do the bounty system for a while, right? Yeah. And that was one of them.
And
I
so,
kept
yeah.
hoping someone would turn that in.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's
That is a tough one.
Like for a while, no
Yeah,
one took
so-
tac droids. Like,
So one that I've come up with, I'm naming the ruler of Mandalore. So it's going to be the first person who defeats a character with the Darksaber, and then that person then has the bounty on them, and whoever then holds
that's
that
cool.
title at the end of the tournament
that's
is the
cool.
ruler
That's
of
actually
Mandalore.
good. So the tough
Nice.
thing about bounties is you have to make them, like, it's fun to make obscure ones. That one's good. That's not obscure. But like it's fun to make obscure bounties, but then like nobody will either A, remember, or B, like bring that unit. So doing stuff like that where it's like a Darksaber will probably show up, right? Like there's 3 units that could take it now, 2?
Yep,
Mhm.
3
Yep.
now.
3. So like, yeah, someone will bring it, just even out of like morbid curiosity, right? Like so that will happen. So that's cool. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah, I've
Especially
currently
the
got
title that passes. That's good.
Yeah, I've currently got 12 listed
Okay,
that
that's
I've come
actually
up
pretty
with.
good.
So I've tried to at least make a few that are faction specific. So, if you run a certain faction, there's a chance you could take one of those. The one I won't say what this one is, I'll let people guess. But my favorite name for one of these is Utini.
Oh, all right. Got to be Ion. It's got to be Ion. My man, it reminds me of like
Bambalam rifle.
the Bambalam somebody.
Ambulan.
I hope you do really well with those, because there was X-Wing used to do those things back in like 2017, 16. I went to Kappa Cup, Pennsylvania, and they had one that was just first blood. Like the first guy to knock out a ship got a Das Boot, a beer boot, and he got a free fill of it. So
Nice.
it was my buddy was there, and I won't get to it. He had a lot of shit. He had a big ship that shot one big blast, and then he just like one shot an Imperial ace that it shouldn't, like dice said shouldn't have happened, totally did. And then he screamed, "First blood!" And then like the guy at the back he holds up the boot and screams like, "Ah!" And then he runs the boot over, and they're just like screaming with the boot, and like we're all clapping like, "Yeah!" Like if someone walked by on the outside, just a bunch of dudes screaming about a boot. But it was those were good. Bounties are fun. I almost recommend doing even like a handout in the packet, just so people like can get.
Mhm.
So okay, people never read the packet, but if you put it in there, you can hold them to it. Like, hey,
Yeah, as we get closer, I'll reveal what more of them are, so people
cool.
know what to aim for. Additionally, I am going to open it up for players to add bounties. So, if you come, Evan, and you beat somebody and they feel salty about it, they can put a bounty out on your head.
Perfect.
As
me
long
the
as
head
they
of the
have something to
raccoon.
offer as a reward.
Yeah, not just
There,
like
there has to be a reward.
I put a bounty on myself at Canto Bite. It was called Choking on My Own Aspirations, and I was playing Vader Krennic. That was it. And then if you killed both, you got I had some like cards I made. So yeah, no, that's good. That's actually really good. I choked a lot in my aspiration that tournament. That was one of my bad cases. That was like I handed out a lot of cards. That wasn't great. But no, ACO, I went every year. And this is the first time I'm gonna say it actually feels like it's worth my money. And that's like that's a very positive thing, because I've always been in the camp that you should get a lot of games for Legion. Like, and then before it was like I paid like the premium ticket, and it was like $120. And then it was like I luckily got to play 4 games of Legion because I made the cut. But if you didn't, it was 3, and there was a bye. So there's people who didn't get to play 3 games even, and they paid a lot of money. But this way, even if there's a bye, you still get 5 games for $70. That's a really good deal. Like your game per value is actually very high. And on the East Coast, we're always kind of like, we've got like Nova, but Adepticon's kind of more mid-country, Chicago. So it's like a 13 to 16 hour drive for me. I fly it, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a long haul. But from where I live, ACO is only 5 hours. And that's not bad. So I can like drive down Friday, play Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday. Or no, leave Monday. I'm not playing. I'm not driving.
Yeah, I mean,
like 12 hours. Each.
No.
Yeah, I mean, past tournaments were 3 days, with 2 different heats. I made the decision this year. Hey, look, let's make this easier for everybody. Let's just make it Saturday, Sunday, and give everybody the max amount of games I can.
No, that's very good. That's awesome. So I've been a big proponent of that. So this is like, it's like all of my crying online is finally starting to like, it's working, baby. We're making the change.
Be the change you want to see.
Be the change you want to see. Just cry online. But no, this is good. This is excellent. So like, and the thing about ACO is like, there's not really anything else to do. Like you sign up to play a game, and if you don't really sign up for, if you, let's say, because you might make the cut, and it's just really expensive for a ticket that you don't want to like buy into MCP on Sunday and then not get to play it because you made day 2, like suffering from success, sure, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just know you're going to go. I've got 2 days of Legion. I get to play the 2 days and get 6 games, and that's a lot, and that's awesome. So I'm actually excited for ACO this year. I was like, kicking myself. I'm like, man, like, I don't know if I'm gonna go, but now to just show up and get to play 6 games, like, that's great. And not have to like cross country lines. Like, I don't have to go to Canada. I love my Canadian friends, but also crossing the border is always a little sketchy. It's like US side's like a demilitarized zone, Canada side's like really nice. It's really funny. But yeah, coming into going into Kansas, like trees and like very clean roads and like open and very like, yeah, come on in, here's some questions. And then coming back into America, there's just like those concrete barricades kind of everywhere, and like you go through like a maze. It's really like, it's terrifying. But last time I went through, a jet flew overhead. I'm not even joking. Like just a fighter jet flew. I'm like, all right, there's a red challenger going, take him out. Just like he said he played Legion. No one would admit to that.
That's code.
Yes. That's code. You know what he's doing. But no, this is actually really cool. So if you're in the Atlantic City area, or if you've never been, ACO, the hotel is like kind of, you go in the hotel and you don't leave. Like it's got like places to eat. It's got a pool. I will say you have to pay to go to the pool if you go there. I got a bone with that, but like there's still a pool.
It's a very fancy pool.
It's a very fancy pool though. But no, ACO is gonna be a
drinks
good time
in it. I don't remember.
You can get
so.
drinks in it. I haven't actually gone in there, but I've looked through the glass. Last year I saw a mermaid.
I got to I did the same thing. Oh dude, the pool was so funny. So I only laughed because I was with my friends, and we saw like the pool was at night, they turned into like a nightclub, right? And so and our room was above it. And so we're just like looking out our window, and like we saw people in the pool like duck at the bar, like hee, like everyone drinking. We're like, I bet the alcohol tastes awful when the chlorine's around it. Like I bet the gold makes the chocolate taste terrible. So then we go down, we're like, well, excuse me, sir, how much again? He's like, it was like a $50 cover charge or something. I'm like, no. And so we're like kind of slumping, walking, seeing people like having a good time. And then there's like girls on the inside who are dancers who are trying to get you in, right? And so like, come on. And then like my friend and I went to stairs, and they're like, come on in. He's just shaking his head, and we like slump away and we go walk around. It's like, no, I know exactly what you're saying, because we did the same, like, well, maybe it won't be too expensive if we go to the pool. I mean, look at all the fun, because we could hear it through the glass of the pool up, like the music and everything. Like, I bet the music's just way too loud. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna have fun. But no, but yeah, ACO is gonna be a good time. Especially you get your money out of it. Tickets are even cheaper than last year. Like last year was like I want to say $90 for three games or something. Now it's 70 for 6. So that's some value. That's pretty big value if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, and one more thing I'll disclose to try and entice people to show up. I am working with Darkfire Designs on a custom 3D print so that every attendee
Nice.
will get.
Oh,
So,
sweet. Man. Cool. I was trying to think of like, man, could we work this into like more Doom stuff? But no, that's fine. More Doom
No.
more Doom models.
More dude.
I already have a fun theme, and I think it's going to be great.
Oh, sick. All right.
Nice.
So yeah, if you haven't gone, or if you're in the area and it's a worth drive for you, ACO is a good time. Especially that $70 gets you in the door in 6 games. Like, you can't. That's hard to beat. Like, to me, when we did the boys, it was like 65 or something, and I really had to trim out in prizes and everything because that was just to keep us open kind of thing. So this is a good deal. So if you're in the area, check it out. ACO. Brendan's leading the charge this time. That's excellent. So we're terrain. Who's doing that?
It's going to be FLG's terrain. I'll be bringing some of my tables, but if any attendees are interested in bringing some of theirs, just let me know and we can showcase that as well.
And what's your name in the Discord?
My name in the Discord is Brendan, and then followed by Inglorious Blasters.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the blasters
You sure
kept it
people won't get
real
mixed up?
simple.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, that's okay. Really easy, like it.
It makes it easy.
So cool. I think that's all I have for the day. Anyone have any closing remarks before we cut out?
I'll go. Sure. I'm excited for Worlds.
Yes.
I'm excited to hang out with everyone again, and just hope to have fun. That's really the goal.
I'm
Save it
hopeful
nice
to end my
clear.
waffling soon.
Oh, dude.
I'm hopeful to go to Worlds, and when I inevitably scrub out, I'll just go chill out and enjoy Adepticon. I've got so you mentioned TT Combat earlier. I've got some
drop fleet.
drop
ship.
fleet here.
Yeah.
I've been
Yo.
potentially looking at. I've got a starter set, never played a game, but it just seems cool. So
Corey, not Legion related. Yo, okay, wild. Here's something wild that
oh no.
All right, hit me with it.
yeah, that Rumble Slam tournament, use
Yeah.
whatever errata you want. Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
how
I guess side tangent for people that don't know. So
Yeah.
I'll compare it to Legion. When there's an errata, people know about it. You print out the card usually, or you can reference it, right? Like, okay, this is the new Vader card, right? This is what it does now. Rumble Slam was like, there's errata. We changed keywords, but when you bring your team of wrestlers, you could just pick the old version or the new version. What? Like what?
that's insane.
It's so bizarre.
And because they're like, we got a couple minutes. So sorry to keep going for a while, but it's just what a wild concept to be like, hey, just use whatever Vader you want. Yeah, you want the OG Vader? Sure, you don't know any better, all yours. You want the new sexy up Vader with like no spur? Yeah, sure.
That's fine. But the
No,
opposite is like, no, I'm gonna take my spiders at like 15 points for the gun or whatever. 10
Yeah,
points for the
right?
item. Like,
Like,
no,
yeah, just-
I'm gonna use this one.
I'm going to take my
ship the-
clones that get aims from moving during scout.
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yo, one of my characters, if I hit you, you're just dead. That's like the pre-errata, like Lady Morte. If I just so Rumble Slam is like Blood Bowl but wrestling, so like fancy like orcs and speedos, and like it's very tongue-in-cheek, very goofy, not balanced. I don't know if it was meant to be, but and a lot of like fun wrestling in jokes, so like it's John Chameleon, and he's
and you can't see
see-through.
him.
Yeah, like they've got some good jokes. But one of mine's just like Lady Muerte. It's like the Day of the Dead themed army. And like if I just hit you, you die. And you can only get 4 guys, and the game's supposed to go like 5 rounds or something. So like, and I can do that every turn. There's no stopping me. There's no like points I have to save up. So I can just, if I get like a lucky roll and like 2-shot your team, like that just the way it goes. But I think she got errata to not have that. So when I go, I'll just be like, no. I want the one where I just like, I'm here for fun. I'm just like, the guy who just one-shot your army. Yeah, that seems fair. I was just like, I thought about that in Legion. It's like, imagine someone showing up. No, I want my airspeeder to be 175 points and not surge to crits, and I want my harpoon to be 5 points. Like you just
that fine wine.
yeah, like why would you ever
like what is this?
We got brought up in one of our sub on my Discord, Radical Gaming, that like you can just do whatever you want, and their defense is like they want it to be a beer and pretzel game. But then why even errata if like you're just
Why
not
do
gonna
it? Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I just brought that up. It was just
had to sneak in one more tangent. To be
oh.
fair, that was my fault, I guess. I opened the door for that one.
So let's say I would keep talking. All right. Hey, you guys play the new but all right, I'll cut it. Thanks everybody. I appreciate your time being on here. Stay rad. Please check out Inglorious Blasters. They're on everything. What do you?
Yeah, we're pretty much on everything. YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple. If you can't find us on something, please let me know, and we'll get that fixed. Yeah.
They have a great cast, and they actually stay on topic, and they have a a point each
What's
episode.
that like?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I just go for it. Like I just get on the motorcycle and ride. I take my podcast 1/4 mile at a time. Anyway, everybody, stay rad. Catch you later.
All right. See you guys.
Join us next week for another edition of the Fifth Trooper podcast.
This has been a Fifth Trooper production.